Inside a small, quiet clock shop, dozens of clocks tick in steady rhythm. Some are tall grandfather clocks. Some are tiny pocket watches. Others are delicate brass alarm clocks resting neatly on wooden shelves. At first, they all seem the same. But look closer, and you notice something interesting. Every clock is slightly different. Some chime early, some tick faster, some ring late in the evening. In a way, humans are a lot like this clock shop. Each person carries a tiny clock inside their body, not made of brass gears or winding springs, but made of biology. Scientists call it a biological clock, and it helps control when we feel awake, when we feel sleepy, and when our bodies are most energetic. This internal timing system follows a cycle that repeats roughly every 24 hours. It's called the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm helps regulate many things in the body: sleep, alertness, body temperature, and even hormones. It's essentially the body's way of keeping track of time. But here's where things get interesting. Not everyone's internal clock is set the same way. Some people naturally wake up early in the morning, full of energy. These people are often called early birds. They tend to feel most alert in the morning and often start getting sleepy earlier in the evening. Others are the opposite. Some people feel sluggish in the morning, but become energetic later in the day. Their creativity, focus, and productivity often peak in the evening or even late at night. These people are known as night owls. And then there's the largest group of all, the people who fall somewhere in between. They aren't extreme early birds, and they aren't extreme night owls. Their natural sleep and wake times land somewhere in the middle. Scientists use a special word for these patterns. They call them chronotypes. A chronotype simply describes a person's natural preference for when they sleep and when they wake up. Instead of everyone sharing the exact same schedule, humans exist along a spectrum. Some are strongly morning-oriented, some are strongly evening-oriented, most are somewhere in between. But why would people's internal clocks be different in the first place? Part of the answer lies in genetics. Inside every cell in the body are genes that help regulate the biological clock. These genes control tiny molecular cycles that repeat over and over, helping the body keep track of time. Small differences in these genes can influence when someone naturally feels sleepy or awake. That means some people are biologically inclined to wake up earlier, while others are naturally inclined to stay up later. In other words, for many people, being a night owl or an early bird isn't just a habit, it's part of their biology. Another factor involves something scientists call sleep pressure. Throughout the day, as a person stays awake, the brain slowly builds up signals that make the body feel tired. You can think of it like a battery gradually running down. Eventually, the battery gets low enough that the body signals it's time to sleep. But different people build up this sleep pressure at different rates. Some people get tired earlier in the evening. Others can stay alert for many more hours before feeling sleepy. These differences also help shape a person's chronotype. But the body doesn't rely only on internal signals to keep time. It also listens to the environment. The most powerful signal for the biological clock is light. When sunlight enters the eyes, it sends signals to a part of the brain that helps synchronize the circadian rhythm. This signal tells the body that it's daytime and helps reset the internal clock each day. For most of human history, the rising and setting of the sun served as the main timekeeper. Morning light helped people wake up. Darkness signaled that it was time to sleep. But modern life has changed that system. Electric lights, glowing screens, and bright indoor environments allow people to stay active long after the sun has gone down. These artificial lights can push the body's clock later, especially for people who already lean toward being night owls. This can create a challenge in modern society. Many workplaces and schools start early in the morning. Schedules are often built around the assumption that everyone should be awake and productive early in the day. But if someone's internal clock naturally runs later, waking up early every morning can feel like constant jet lag. Their internal clock may still think it's nighttime. This mismatch between natural sleep timing and social schedules is sometimes called social jet lag. It's one reason why night owls often struggle with early mornings. Another interesting twist is that chronotypes can change throughout life. Children tend to wake up relatively early, but during adolescence, something shifts. Teenagers often develop a natural tendency to stay up later at night and wake up later in the morning. This is why many teenagers struggle with early school start times. People move into adulthood and later life, their clocks often shift earlier again. Older adults frequently become more morning-oriented. So chronotypes aren't always fixed forever. They can slowly change as people age. But regardless of where someone falls on the spectrum, one thing is clear. Humans are not all built to follow exactly the same daily schedule. Just like the clocks in a shop, each internal clock ticks a little differently. Some ring their alarm at dawn, some ring later in the evening, and most operate somewhere in between. The important thing isn't forcing every clock to match the same time. It's understanding that different rhythms exist. Because when people are able to align their schedules with their natural internal clocks, they often feel more alert, more productive, and better rested. In the end, the world is full of early birds, night owls, and everyone in between. And each one is simply following the quiet rhythm of their own internal clock.
If you enjoyed this video and want to be notified of new videos as they come out, be sure to subscribe below by clicking on the bell.